Hey, Godfather of Anxiety here. Given the time of year it is, I figured it was important to do a video on seasonal depression, or SAD, seasonal affective disorder, as it's often called. I think that it's a really important video to do this time of year because a lot of people suffer from it. And this will include people that don't normally suffer from anxiety and depression, right? A lot of people will have the wintertime blues, and it can actually have devastating consequences, right? We know that a certain time of year seems to lend itself to a lot of people deciding to end things. So, to avoid something coming to that, I figured, it'd be really good to talk about it, get it out in the open. And so I'm going to start off with, talking about what your symptoms are going to be. Now, personally, I think that I have experienced some seasonal affective disorder, but I don't think I've ever had a very intense case of it. It's one of the few anxiety spectrum conditions that, hasn't really hit me hard. But I think a lot of neurotypical people even can empathize with feeling this way when the days get shorter, the weather gets colder, and the way that you feel is not in any way dissimilar to if you're clinically depressed. Some of the telltales are, as this starts to happen to you, if you want to know, am I actually experiencing seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression? Are you losing your gumption, your desire to do things? Are things not bringing you joy? Do you have a desire to sleep and maybe sleep a day away? And, this isn't a productive sleep. This won't be one that you wake up feeling refreshed from. This will be one where you're, just want to stay in bed permanently, basically. And again, all the symptoms of clinical depression, feelings of hopelessness, problems, again, with your sleep, sleeping too long. You can feel anxiety. You can feel agitation. So you can have, if you're having mood swings, really bad mood swings, or you're starting to feel really anxious, that can also accompany any type of clinical depression, including seasonal affective disorder. You may also have notice that you have an intense carbohydrate cravings. And that's why a lot of the time when people get this, they'll put on weight because, it's already maybe less desirable to be outside because of the weather and the amount of light we have. And then you're feeling these horrible feelings of, listlessness and emptiness, and you're just trying to find something to make you feel a little better, and carbohydrates for a very short time and with very bad consequences will make you feel this much better. It's not worth it, obviously, because afterward we're going to be even more depressed than we are to begin with. So now, so basically a lot of your symptoms are going to be the same as they would be with clinical depression. Now, what causes seasonal affective disorder? Definitely there's been several links found with the length of day getting shorter, and that messing with our biological clock so that it changes our hormone levels. And that's why, melatonin, serotonin, chemicals that we need to, be happy when we're awake and then get the recovery sleep that we need, both for our bodies and our minds. That's these hormones are, very important to be regulated in the proper way. And when you have seasonal affective disorder, that's not happening. That's why you want to sleep a day away. That's why you have no gumption to do anything. That's why when you when you do engage in an activity that you normally enjoy, you don't enjoy it. Also, another potential cause can just be a chemical imbalance, right? The same stuff that we deal with all of the other anxiety spectrum conditions, where, there's theories on serotonin levels and other neurotransmitters. But whatever the case, something is wrong. And it's something that has real consequences. These are not things that you ignore or, just cast aside as part of your existence. Another thing, vitamin D. Make sure, guys, if you are prone to seasonal affective disorder, make sure you're supplementing with vitamin D. Don't overdose on vitamin D, but supplement with it. Get with your doctor on this. Given your age and other health factors, but make sure, especially if you live far from the equator, like, I do living in upstate New York, if you do this, it's going to be important that you supplement with vitamin D. You may also want to supplement with melatonin. Now, that's another one that the science is a little give and take on that, as it is with so many things, right? You might want to, for a brief period of time, take a pill of, a dose of melatonin. It may help you with your sleep, but it's one of those things where it seems like your body ends up craving more, and it can actually throw off the circadian rhythm if you become dependent on external melatonin. So that's a matter to talk to your doctor about if you're having seasonal affective disorder. As far as how we should, because I never like to just give you guys how miserable things are with these mental health conditions. That, I'm not trying to be Johnny Raincloud, but, so I always want to tell you guys, what can we do? What can you do to either avoid this, or if you are starting to experience it, get better? Now, the treatments are going to be similar to other types of clinical depression if it's already taken hold. It may include medication, cognitive behavioral therapy, even light therapy is something that has been effective in dealing with seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder. But what I can tell you guys, I'm going to give you guys the things that I believe, looking at the science, are the most important things to do to avoid having seasonal affective disorder in the first place. Number one, get out in the sunlight. I know that people live like where I do. They're like, what do you mean? It's freezing out. It's still important. And it doesn't have to be for a long period of time. But get outside. Take your dog for a walk. Figure out some way to get outside, get into the sunlight, because remember, supplementing with vitamin D is not going to do any good without the sun to make that, that sunlight is what makes vitamin D usable to our bodies. So I would say get out. Also, stay busy. This is a lot easier for people. And if you'll notice, people who look forward to winter activities, whether it's skiing or, it could be ice skating, it could be ice fishing, whatever it is. People who have things that they do in the winter that they really enjoy and look forward to tend to be way less prone to seasonal affective disorder. And I don't believe this is an accident. And it's not just because, that's the thing I look forward to, because those people have things they look forward to in the summer as well. But it's because they're getting out and they're doing things. Again, it doesn't have to be, downhill skiing on a Black Diamond Trail. I'm not trying to encourage you guys who maybe don't even like to go outdoors to, start taking up some dangerous activity. But what I am saying is that you need to get out in the sunlight. You need to stay busy. Now, another thing, the next thing I'm going to encourage you guys to do, I always talk about the big three. And when it comes to seasonal affective disorder, when it comes to seasonal depression, they are so important. You need to make sure you're getting your sleep, quantity and quality. This can be hard when the clocks go back and the days are shorter. It can mess with your sleep. But you need to do this, okay? Exercise. This is the big one. You know, I've made videos about how important exercise is. It is the thing that keeps me from, I believe, from having relapses and, you know, having my recovery interfered with. I really believe, because every time my ability to stay active and exercise is either lessened or taken away, things go backwards. Things go backwards really fast with my anxiety and with my depression. So it's not an accident. The reason for this, guys, is because the feel-good chemicals that are the endorphins that are released when you exercise, they will help you feel better. We were designed by nature to be active, to move, to, you know, work and do things. So again, I'm not telling you guys, I know what the couch is like in the wintertime. I know that's a time to cuddle up with your, you know, your cocoa or your coffee or, you know, whatever your beverage of choice might be. But I'm telling you guys, you got to stay active. At least 3 times a week, 30 minutes a shot. Can be walking your dog. It can be going to the gym and walking on a treadmill. If you have a treadmill at home, it can be doing that. This is going to help you guys more than you realize. I know that, you know, a lot of us, especially in the United States, we're busy, but we're not busy in an active way. We're just busy with stress and taking people from here to there, or, you know, we're really busy, but we're not as active as we should be, is what I'm trying to say. And you gotta stay active. It's going to help you with those neurotransmitters. And I really believe that's going to be a huge advantage when it comes to seasonal affective disorder. And it has been for me. I always feel better after I go to the gym. Now, when you guys have already already sunk into either a clinical depression or actual full-blown anxiety of some sort, the exercise isn't going to feel as good. I remember, you know, when I was just scared to death every time my heart went above 100. And it would prevent me from being able to enjoy exercise at all. I remember, you know, and I also remember how hard it was to pull myself out of bed to go to the gym when I was clinically depressed. So once these things have taken hold, these things are going to be a lot harder to do. Not impossible, but that will be something that you work with your mental health professional and your doctor to do. But in order to prevent seasonal affective disorder, I'm telling you guys, stay active. Get in the sunlight. And I don't care where you live. In fact, the further in the colder climates, it's even more important that you get outside, because we're getting less of that vitamin D in the first place. If you go around the equator, you will see a lot of both physiological conditions and mental health conditions are a lot less in those environments. Now, those people may have other issues, right? Because, you know, too much ultraviolet light can damage our skin and cause, you know, things like melanoma and stuff like that. But it is so much healthier to get out and get the sunlight, stay active. Those things are going to be paramount when it comes to trying to avoid seasonal affective disorder. So you also, another thing, resist that temptation to gorge or overindulge in carbohydrates. That will, you know, take it from somebody who has been as high as 365 pounds. That will be a road you don't want to go down. It will exacerbate everything. It will make everything worse. The good feeling from it, if you're lucky, will last 5 minutes. And the guilt and the shame and the down feeling from it will last the rest of the time. So, take it from someone with firsthand experience. Do not use carbohydrates to try to patch your way through seasonal affective disorder. That is the worst way to go. And so those are some things that I think you should do. I think this is the one thing about this. First of all, seasonal affective disorder affects a lot of people that are otherwise neurotypical. It'll be the only type of either depression or anxiety they have. And I firmly believe this is because it has a lot of biology behind it, and we understand the biology. The biology seems to have to do with the length of day. It seems to have to do with our sleep patterns. So, and also the fact that our activity levels crash and plummet. And everything happening at once is really bad. It's a really bad combination. And I believe that lays the groundwork for seasonal affective disorder to, manifest itself. So get as much light as you can, get as much exercise as you can safely. Keep your sleep schedule as intact as you possibly can, given the change, the change in the clocks. And you should be able to, if you're not just really wired to have seasonal depression, those things should really help mitigate. If not take it away, at least make it so that the wintertime blues are a lot less. So, plan activities too. Anything to get you out of the house. Even if you're not going to exercise, get out, get doing stuff. It can be a trip to the grocery store. Just stay moving. Don't resist that urge to just stay in your house like it's a den or something. Resist that urge. And that will help a lot in preventing seasonal affective disorder. The reason, again, why I made the video is because even though this affects a lot of neurotypical people, it just can end so badly if this isn't addressed. It can lead, I believe, to a more permanent condition. And it can also, even lead to someone taking their life. And never want to see somebody, do a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That is not an acceptable outcome. I don't believe, that's one of the biggest reasons why, mental health, the stigmas and the things that are, the way it's looked at can be such a barrier to people getting the help they need. Guys, if you know that every year you feel basically like you don't even want to be alive, go to see a mental health professional. Maybe you'll just need to take medication through the winter that can give you a boost so you don't feel that way. Maybe you can do light therapy. Maybe you can do cognitive behavioral therapy. But don't just say, oh, it's going to happen. Because like I said, it has a tendency to get worse if we leave it untreated. And where can that lead? I think it can lead to an extended bout of clinical depression, and even worse, it could lead to, something terrible. So that's why I made the video. Guys, thanks so much for the engagement with the channel. It's been outstanding. Again, I have been very busy lately, but I'm going to try to at least get one video out a week. I'm going to try to do more than that, but the best laid plans when you have, just like all you guys out there, family, job, all those responsibilities. And I'm not crying about it, but so anyways, but thank you guys so much. And until my next video, take care.